Hello and welcome to this Fallout 4 settlement tour. This is Extreme Wackazoid and today we are looking at Egret Tours Marina. This is on the PS4. I'm using a number of mods which are listed below. Egret Tours Marina is a very large build space with a number of large pre-existing structures. You have the opportunity to build a lot, and so it's kind of fun. And of course there's this waterfront area with some dock space, and so hopefully this will give you a few ideas of what you can do with this space. There's defense turrets, which are minigun turrets and heavy laser turrets, and I raised them up on these ball track support platforms so that they're free from melee attackers. One thing I've noticed is some mutated does, whatever their name is, that spawn in over here, and so be ready for a fight, and so it's good to put up some defenses over on this side. All my settlers are growing mute fruit here. It's the most efficient food to grow, and one of the first things I do when I build is I decide where I'm going to put my power source. Typically I put it up high, but I definitely protect it, and so my power source is actually in there. And what I used was these concrete walls with a brick skin, so it looks exactly like the brick of this building that was pre-existing. And I do that so it's free from attackers. They pretty much have to hit it with a grenade or something like that. My settlers are all wearing the same outfit. I like to have them wear the same outfit in a settlement, so it looks kind of creepy. These are the dockhand outfits. I forget the exact name of it. And so I was able to do a lot of different things with these pre-existing structures, so I'll take you through there in just a bit. But first, what I did out here was I built a sort of open-air fish market. I figure since there's this dock here, I could do something with all these different aquatic themed decorations. And so there's a refrigerator here and a cabinetry, like a fish weighing station, some buckets and some hanging fish and some buoys, and some ceiling fans so it doesn't stink up the place too bad. And what I did inside this structure, there's actually multiple floors to this structure, so I put some residences in here. And what I like to do with the beds is put a duffel bag or a suitcase underneath so they have sort of a go bag. And I think if I lived in a wasteland, I would want some kind of a go bag so I can leave very quickly if I had to. And since there's this area where there's typically a boat, I scrapped the boat, is I put up here a bathroom area. Since there's this kind of water hanging underneath, figured it made kind of automatic sewage. And then I'll put a water purifier out there. You can fit a lot of water purifiers, but I think it's kind of more realistic to just have a couple. And so in here is a shower, a sink, a water fountain, a toilet. I have, I believe, 8 settlers here. I like to use just a small number. I think it's more realistic. So I just have 3 farmers, 4 vendors, and then just 1 provisioner, I believe. And so I'm just showing the second floor. Really, I didn't do much to it except for close it off, and so but I wanted to keep it so that you could actually go up here, and so I just put some barriers around this edge. There's a exposed wall right there. I just closed off this wall. But you can do a lot with that roof. And what I did inside this dock area is just put a couple residences. So there again, there's airplane seats with some card tables looking out, some beds again with duffel bags, and some file cabinets. Kept these kind of yellow, gross looking file cabinets to go with the settlers' outfits. There's multiple exits here from this structure. Again, I like to have multiple exits, so I think if I lived in a wasteland, that's what I would want, so I can get out quickly if I needed to. And so this large dock, what I did was put an outdoors restaurant area. And so if you put these bar stools up with these bars, they will actually, settlers will come and rest up here after a hard day's work. And if you put a restaurant out here, they'll line up and it looks like they're actually ordering food and then eating food. And so typically I like to have it so the roof is uniform, but what I did here was I had just a couple of different levels of uniform, so it kind of looks like a gazebo that you would rent out, like a picnic area. And inside here is a restaurant, and with these tier 3 vendors, I like to place items into the shelves so it looks like they're actually selling something. And what I did here was I just closed off the barriers with concrete barriers, and then I just cleared this space out so I can make it look like a functioning restaurant. So there's shelves and some refrigerator and a locker and an electronic oven, grill, sink, and I placed items with OCDecorator. And so there's a lot of different materials being used here. I like to use multiple different materials so it looks kind of junky. I like to use a lot of wood and metal, so it looks like the settlers really did just grab a bunch of scrap and then build with it. So this is the other structure inside here, and what I did was put some residences inside with some file cabinets. I cleared out a lot of this space with scrap that settlement, and then the second floor is the other vendors. And so I had some space to, this is kind of a difficult build area, just to make, and if you're going to build up here, this floor is kind of burnt out, and then that floor is also burnt out, and so you just have to make sure that the floors will go all the way up to the edge of the walls and then all the way up over there as well, and just go all the way across. And then if you're going to build walls, you have to make sure it all snaps into place, so you really have to play around with that. It can be good to just kind of build it and then move it in with the select all trick, which is what I think I did. And so here's a clinic vendor. I give my clinic vendors lab coats, and then there's a gurney here, x-ray. They're selling medical supplies. With the clothing vendor, I like to make it look like they're actually selling clothing, so there's some armor stands there and some clothing. And what I do with the shelves is I build them outside in an open space, and then I raise and lower the shelf with the select all trick and a concrete pillar. And then I use OCDecorator to place the items onto the shelves as I raise and lower it. And then here's the general junk vendor as well, and so same concept with the shelves. Use OCDecorator. I like to use these ceiling fan lighting, and I use some Vault-Tec decorations to indicate which vendor it is. And then there's some scaffolding barriers and some wooden barriers. You can actually place walls that go all the way across, but I felt like leaving some open space out there. So, and then over here, this other dock, what I did was put some lounge areas. So there's some picnic tables, use some gas lighting, and some picnic tables, some lounge chairs, some umbrellas, and things like that. And then I use these wire fences to close it off so you don't fall in, or more importantly, your settlers don't fall in. So hopefully this will give you a few ideas of what you can do with the space. If you like what you see, hit like, and you can favorite the channel as well. Thank you.